was saying this thing about countries that people should please research before they enter any country. Basically, if you are relocating, if you want to relocate with yourself or your family, you want to go and have a living or go to work in that country, it is better to research, know about that country very well, because the way things are, they are not the same way again. Things have changed. It is not like as it was past 20 years, 1990 something, 18 something. Those are decades of time when people have not. The more the world become advanced, the more eyes are being opened. Just like in the days of Garden of Eden, if you are a Christian, you should know the story in Garden of Eden that Adam and Eve never knew anything until the devil came and make Eve to eat from the tree. And as soon as she eat from that tree that God said they did not eat the apple, the eyes was open. And what happened? Developed that it started, and that was where she knew that she was naked. As her husband came, he gave to the husband. The husband said, eat, and his eyes was open. As soon as God called them, God always knows what is happening, but he just pretend as if he knows. As soon as he called them, the Garden of Eden was not the same way as it was when God left it with them. The world is not the same way as it was when we were young. Now you are getting older. It is not the same way again. Things have changed. And that is why they call global crisis that are affecting. Eating is like a disease. Eating in the heart of the country. Moving into the country, eating, causing things. And now, so many people have started realizing, those ones that are young have grown to see how beautiful their country is. But they have forgotten. The same thing it was in the days of Egypt. The Jews was migrated into that country, was enslaved, was bought. Slave trade, that was how slave trade, and that was how they brought a lot of Jews into that country, into Egypt. Egypt was the first people who started slave trade, buying of slave trade. They used slave trade. They were the people who have this idea now, you see, this slave trade idea, you see, bringing people to build our nation. Egypt was the first people who started, who gave the idea of people, bringing people to their nation to build a nation. Egypt got that idea. So, development started from that place. And they brought the Jews, and the Jews were building. But before the Jews were building for them, before they brought the Jews were building, they gave them a very beautiful place. And they developed, Jews were the people who developed Israel, who developed Egypt to be very beautiful. But when another king arrived, the king never knew about them. The king saw that this place was beautiful and feel that these people are foreigners. What are they doing here? And we decided to make them was use them to build that country, build it, yeah. Turn them to slave. That was how slave trade started. When those people that saw when immigrants were building these nations, all those people, they are no longer alive again. So the one that are now are the people that did not, they only had the story. Okay, the story, but they were not there. So the feeling will not be like the one that was there that saw it. Even if they like, let them sign treaty. If they like, let them sign the document and say, donkey that forever and ever our people will not leave this country. Our people will always be part of this country because of that. Yes, so that signal will be there, but they will tell that the people that have died. The dead cannot come and start inquiring. Yes, those living will want to one way to change that thing. The same thing happened in the days of Egypt. Like when the king died, Joseph died. Those people that was there was not there. So the new king arose and never knew and decided to turn. That was how a lot of children that are growing now, they don't know about what the immigrant, the people did, build the nation. See Europe, America, all the people builded it is from Africa, the one that builded it. Africans are the one that builded Europe and America, Africans, Jamaicans, all these people. We are the one that built it because they came to us, took our things and took us along with them. And builded it, see their nation today looking beautiful, brought up food, everything. It's built by the Africans and the Jamaicans and the rest. Yeah. Jamaicans. We all Africans, we are builded. But those people that those days that we are building it, those people that recognize it, they are all gone. In decades of it, they are all gone. So now people that are rising now are people that never they heard the story, but they we are not there, so the feeling will not be there. So they'll be telling you, okay, for many years we have left you people for long. We have not tried. It's time now. You see what somebody is telling you, that the greatest mistake they make is by allowing people to be. It's by allowing the greatest mistake. The greatest mistake they did is by allowing the immigrant to be with them. But forgotten the story of how immigrant came to the country, just like South Africa, how the immigrant came when decades of years, donkey years, when they didn't even know whether they are immigrant. That all these places were bush. Yeah, everywhere bush. People were coming from different, they never knew that this, and maybe that place was not even there. They never knew it was South Africa. So they just came there and perched themselves. And before you know it, they follow to build that place and become big. And those people now are not. But thank God for Africa. Do you see, if this thing that these people are doing now, if Africa start doing this thing, how will it be? Check South Africa, that South African, being an African, you see, sometimes we should, before you do something, you look at, you see that Africa has sense. You see that Africa recognize the immigrant. It recognize how they have invested into, like a South Africa now, you see the Iranian. South Africa recognize that the Iranian came here a long time ago. They came from different places and they are bad. But they are the people who also try to colonize the country. But South Africa took over anyway. But this thing did not drive them out. They did not drive them out. They rather gave them that plan, say, no, you people are part of us. You people build it here with us. Oh yeah, take this part is yours. And that is where Urena are also practicing how to get their own country out of South Africa. And South Africa even give them maybe that no blacks will go to that place. Answer them as, okay, no blacks are, let it just be like this. This is the tradition of what they want. Fine, keep it. But is it allowed in Europe? Is it allowed in this place? Is it allowed in America? Is it allowed? That's what we are saying. And this is the most people, we Africans should be wise. It's untold for our president, governors, ministers, and as many people. This is a lesson. Look at them. They're telling, stay in your country, build your country. Why would they not say that? Stay in your country, build your country. Yeah, they have right. This is a country. They are building their country, painters, they could build their country, and they need to benefit from their country. So you don't blame them. Whatever they say, it's a lesson to our president, ministers, all of them, that it's time for them to stand up and walk. It's time for you to put the citizens into engagement. Because blacks are very strong, they can work. If you see how blacks, how Africans are building the diaspora, you people know that we have something that our president, governors, and ministers, the president have not recognized yet. The day they recognize that, the time Africa will be built. Thank God for this man, Ibrahim, that have come out, Tauren, that have come to tell them that Africa will never die. But this is wrong. This kind of protest is wrong. Other people will be crying, forgetting that we pay tax, we pay tax. We too, we pay, everybody pay. Listen, as soon as you are giving papers in the country, you pay tax. As soon as you have your right to work, right to this, you also pay tax. That is what some of them don't understand. Yeah, you pay tax. As long as you have your legal right, you have to pay tax. So you are contributing too. But that is not the way to see it. They still have their right to their tradition. To what all I'm just saying in essence is that let us be precaution before we do something, because there is, I can see in that video, I see some anti-protest against remigration. And they were making sense. They were saying some kind of sense. They were making a lot of sense. They were saying a lot of sense. You understand me? But these people have forgotten that there are people too that are born into the country, that African families that born their children into the country, they are also English. As long as you are born, You are English. As long as you have born, you are English. So how are you going to do with those people? Are you going to tell those people to go? Where are they going to? Where are they going to? Or are you going to tell somebody that have lived his life over 30 years in the country or 40 years? It's just an English. This is simple and short. Listen, the world has come to the extent that the world has come to the way that country should stop all these things they are doing. Just stop it. As well as somebody have come to your country and have known a lot of things, have been there 20, 30 years, have been part of it, have known things. It's just like he stayed all his life. So he's part of the country. As far as he does not commit crime. The most important thing is make sure he doesn't commit crime. It's when they commit crime, that's bad. But as far as you don't commit crime, you are paying your taxes, you have your right to work, you are paying your taxes, you are doing the right thing. You are part of it, you are contributing, building the nation. Be in the nation. The reason why all these things, people do all this things, is because not everybody in the nation can work. If you say you want to use only of your own actual citizens, at the end of the day, they might be lazy. The way a foreigner works is different from the way the real people work. Like the kind of work they say, work in my country. When I was there, I can't do that work. Nothing you like, nothing I would not do, but a foreigner will come and do that work. That is different. Because that foreigner is saying, this is not my country. This is not, I need to hustle, I need to help this guy, I need to hustle, and pay this one, help this one, and earn my own. He's there to hustle. So he's hustling just like an upcoming artist. An upcoming that when you're the treat the way upcoming footballer that he just signed into, just a upcoming footballer signed into Real Madrid or into, you know what is it, UK, and this thing, into a club. You know what is it now? He will play all his life, man. He want to be known. That's how it is. That's what people need to understand. It is not about, we have tested all this and that. Yeah, it's not about that because a lot of country. In short, in this world now that we are now, nobody will live in this world. Everybody that comes will go away. We are all what? We are, in short, let me put it back, a rephrase. We are all tenants in the world and we will definitely leave the world for the owner of the world. So the world does not belong to us. We are just like when somebody do a transit, we are just for a transit for some time. And after that, we go to actual where we are supposed to be. What we should be looking for, what we should be answering, where is the actual place we are going to? Because most of us do not know the actual place, our ticket. Some of us have even lost our ticket in this world. Some of us have got to the world and lost our ticket, leave our ticket, forgotten where we are going to. We are forgotten. We are just like somebody went to transit and lost his passport and everything and believe that this is where you stay permanently. No. If there's any permanency, go and ask from the starting of this world to this time. Nobody has ever, even the first people that live in this earth, have you ever seen them? Nobody. Decade of years. This decade we live, they will go. Decade, every single decade, all of them, film. This decade, film. The next decade, film. Everybody will go. Nobody will remain in this world. So what are we tracking for? Immigrant and illegal immigrant and no illegal immigrant. Help anybody you see, assist anybody you see, guide anybody you see, because we are all working cops. Every single soul, we are all working cops. And you want to know we are all working cops, the best experience, the best experiment that ever has been done in this world, I used to congratulate the world, the best experiment that have ever been done in the whole world, yeah, I congratulate them, is COVID. COVID-19 is the best experiment that the world has ever done. If it's an experiment, though, it is a best thing that have ever happened to the world. It's a best thing that can show the world lesson. Now let me tell you, let me put the word word so that people understand. Look at COVID-19. When it happened, everybody, there was no single soul outside. Was anybody talking about immigration or no immigration? I answer the question. Was anybody talk about illegal immigration or no immigration? Was anything like there was anything like UK border, like anything like immigration or UK border or Nigerian border or Nigerian immigration or Africa immigration or army or anything? Are you hearing anything like that? Even the army, even the police, even the president, even every single soul. That's everybody's begging God to, hey, please, please, everybody. Now everybody, and the best part of it, that come and see unity. See how the world was united. Everybody was sorry. Everybody was having pity for each other. Because, hey, so we are all going to die. And what kind of disease is this? Just taking people's life. What kind of disease is taking people's life? Everybody was scared. Everybody was scared. Nobody was talking whether you're a migrant or you're not like a migrant. Or everybody was just, everybody was holding. That is how the world should be. That is an example of showing you that if every single person is not in the world, that is how the world will be. No single person. I came out, I shouted, hey! Do you know where my voice had? I screamed. I decided to do an experiment. My friend that was living about 20 houses away heard my voice when I screamed. I called my Jimmy, why? And I thought, I just said it, left it, and 3 days he came. He saw me and said, I heard your name. I said, you heard that? He said, yes, that's I heard it. I said, eh? That was Jesus, this, because there was nobody. Everywhere was empty. No single soul. So when you scream, it's like an echo. It goes so far. There was no noise. There was no car. There was no bus. There was nobody. Everybody was just after his life and after other people's life. Everybody was just holding his head. Everybody was sorry, but nobody was doing racism. There was no racism. There was no somebody going to shop to steal. There was no... so many things stopped. Boom, music, everything, boom, everybody now is, hey, God, hey, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. After the resolving of COVID-19, 1 minute the world forget. 1 minute we forget about COVID. I think they should be playing COVID-19, but I think they should be playing COVID-19 as a film that it will establish in the mind of each and everyone. I'm telling you, when there was COVID, was there anything like protest? I answer all these people that are coming out now saying remigration, this, regradation. Everybody's calling migration, and no migration, this and that. When there was COVID, was there anything like migration? If one disease come and everybody will run away. Was there anything like migration, no remigration? Everybody was one. This is how the world should be. We should be one to help each other. It doesn't matter. Just like Dubai, how Dubai made people came building it, now they are chasing people out. No, we are all one. We should be one, helping people wherever they are. Their government, they run into your place. They call them and help them out. Let them grow in your country. To that way, you are telling the government there, because when they are malnourished and they come to your country, they're going back and look healthy. The government should look here. Since you cannot take care of your citizen, we can take care of him for you. Let's learn how to do good to people. Let's not learn how to be separated from each other, because we have one blood which is red. Everybody's blood is red. No different. It's just only body color. Black, white, and Indian, different kind of color. Chocolate and different, just like rainbow. But the color, different kind of color, make the world beautiful. Because if there's no different kind of color, we cannot be beautiful. That's why that's why somebody will like, I want to wear black, I want to wear white. Like this one, I wear white, black. There's multicolor. It make it look beautiful. It make it look Nike. You see? Make it look Nike. But if it's just black, we will say, black. But this make it look Nike, look nice. See? That's what make us look beautiful. Just like the coloring. Jesus said, look at black, that's what make it look beautiful. So let us allow the world to be beautiful. And let us, for the meantime we are, because the world is not keeping us. The world only wants us just, for the meantime we are in the world, enjoying being part of the world. The world is not leaving us too. We are also illegal. We are also illegal immigrants in the world. The world is not living, or the world also wants us to live. Yeah, and our passport is left by death. You are dragging, this is my country, this is my country. Your world himself is telling you, this is not your world, it's not you. You are dragging, this is my country, this is my country, this is my country. The world is telling you, no, this place does not belong to you. You need to go. You and your people need to go. Need to go. This is your passport of death. Death. You take death passport, die and go. And you are dragging, this is my home, this is my home, this is my home, this is my home, this is my home. And he's telling you, it's not your home, it's not your home, this is not your world, this is not your world, it is my world. You need to go, you need to go. You are for transit, you are not for transit. You are just like somebody going to transit to another place and say, I'm not going. Have you ever seen it before? If you transit to a place, you have to go to America, you have to go to a country, you transit to this place. Or you try to go to Germany, you transit to America. And you want to still live in, if you run, the police will carry you. You have to go to your Germany, where you go. That's where your destination is. And that is the same thing. We are all transit here. And many of us don't know where we are going to. The world is telling you. And that's why many of us have forgotten that this world does not belong to us, that it belongs to the world. And the world is telling us to go, and we are forgotten. So the world is remembering you now that don't forget, you are to live, whether by 60 years, 70 years, by 100 years. 100 you must live. I bet let's be reasonable, man. We shouldn't be reasonable when we do things. Nobody remain in this world. So what are we fighting for? What are we doing, legal immigrant and non-legal immigrant? It's all rubbish. Well, let us watch and see what is happening. How these people say they want to take back their land. Fine, it is good. Please support them. Let's support them. It is good. Let them, because if people are suffering, they should speak out too. Speak out. So the government, for the government to see, so that they can help their people. Anyway, let's see what happens. Subscribe, comment, and like this video. I will meet you in the next video.
Britain First, a nationalist political party often known for its strong views on immigration.
There's too many coming into the country. They should stay in their own country.
If you're offering everything for free on a platter, they're going to come.
Now we want remigration.
With a history of street activism and so-called mosque invasions, the group has often been labelled far-right and extremist.
And their whole policy is based around anti-immigration. And immigration made Britain beautiful. No peace there. No peace in any of that.
After clashes broke out at the last rally in Nuneaton, I went to Birmingham to find out what Britain First really stands for. Join me. Hi guys, so we're here in Birmingham today for a Britain First rally. As you can see behind me, you've got loads of protesters who stand up to racism, very much against the protest that is just in front of me, which is a Britain First one. Here you can see all the St George's flags, and what I've seen so far, the main message today is for remigration. You've heard what Keir Starmer said in the news about deportations and having to deport illegal migrants. Well, this group is very much for it.
Stop bringing them in and give it to people that served our country. Simple as.
Yeah.
That's all.
But you can hear the chants on the other side.
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing.
What's your main concern at the minute in the UK?
About everybody coming in.
Talking about those little small boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that an issue?
Because they're rather.
We didn't fight them here, did we? Like, we don't agree with it. Like, so
We don't agree with it.
like, the public haven't agreed with it. For 10 years, we've been telling them we're against immigration and illegal immigration, and they're not doing nothing about it. Like, so now it's time to stand up and do something about it, because the politicians ain't going to do nothing.
There's much more bigger issues, no? Like, how many other issues have we got going on other than your neighbour's an immigrant? Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that for generation upon generation, they've made us blame immigrants. It's generational indoctrination. They want us to blame our neighbours instead of the higher-ups. And that's exactly what you're seeing here.
I spoke to the other side, and they've kind of argued that there are bigger problems than the small boats at the minute, you know, cost of living.
Mate, look what it was like in Nuneaton last time and that. Like, that tells you everything you need to know about them.
Videos. Look up the Nuneaton videos when we met.
Do they have the right to be angry, though? Because a lot of people say that Britain First kind of target Muslim communities and things like this because of things that have happened in the past. Would you agree with that or no?
So look, I don't target anybody. I'm here for Great Britain. I don't care who lives here. We're all human beings. All of us are human beings. It's just the government should be concentrating on the British people that pay taxes, that pay their way, that work hard, and not bring people in and give them everything on a plate.
If this does get uploaded, I want to say, not all leftists are crazy man. Yes, there's unreasonable on every faction ever. But that being said, the message is right. The revolution needs to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's...
I get your point, because, you know, you look at Birmingham, they have a binge strike at the minute. There are obviously other issues, but there's one argument that people say, like, illegal migration is too high at the minute.
Well, like, as well, people get confused with that. How do you know if someone's illegal? How many illegal immigrants do you know?
Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? They come here, they take our jobs, but they also don't work and reap our benefits. How the f*** can you do both? The same rhetoric's been regurgitated for generations now. And anyone that believes it is stupid, because you can see again and again who the real enemy is. They want us to be further divided. They want us to be further divided.
There is no right to privacy in public, is there? You shouldn't be going and grabbing hands on people, though, should you? Shouldn't be putting it in my face. He wasn't putting it in your face. You come over here and grab hold of him. Take over him and get some details off you. All right?
Mate, so what are you going for?
All right, guys, so the officer's speaking to that man over there. Don't know what happened. I got here a bit late. But it seems like we have our first kind of talking to with the crowd. You seem quite young. What's your reason for joining Britain First?
I just think it's the right movement for everybody here. Obviously, you know, at the minute I feel the country's going downhill and, you know, we need to fight for it, really. I feel that's the main reason.
Yeah.
So.
A lot of people, especially in the news and on the other side, call this lot racist for being part of Britain First. Would you agree with that?
No racist. Of course not. No racism in it. Nothing really racist about it at all. You know, it's fighting for our country, which we've dealt for hundreds of years.
Part of their argument is that they're standing up for their towns where, you know, people might not see where migration is impacting them.
They say things like, oh, this isn't my Britain that I remember. It's all white and all English. Not in the last 100 years, surely not. That's ridiculous. No Britain, like, do you know what I mean?
I think people do accept that, you know, we do live in a multicultural society.
I'd like to interrupt you. I'd like to say really quick. The St. George's, people waving around the Union Jack and that sort of thing. People say, why can't I wave it around? It's not racist. The St. George's Cross is not inherently in itself racist. But who waves it around? These geezers. So therefore, who's gonna, like, it gets matched together. Same way that the leftists get matched up with the crazy nutters, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get your point. So, but why didn't you guys fly the St. George's flag then? Why don't you, like...
Why don't we what?
Why didn't you guys take the flag back and wave it yourselves?
So why don't we take the flag back and wave it ourselves? I have taken a flag back from people before. I have. Nuneaton demo, if you were there. I don't think you were there, no. At Nuneaton Britain First demo, I took back the Union Jack off them. I don't particularly have a big affinity with the flag itself, not personally, but I think that the average lad who supports an England football team or whatever, he should be allowed to wear the St. George's flag. But that being said, you have to understand why people are going around with the notion, innit? Do you know what I mean? Why do they have that notion? Well, who's waving it around? Turn the camera for me. Who's waving it around? These geezers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like the other argument is that, you know, when you say that those people, they are just English citizens at the end of the day, and they have a right to fly.
What to do with it? The fact they're English citizens.
I mean, the reason to fly the flag.
Yeah, but that's not the reason they're flying the flag. They're flying the flag for Brit First. They're not here today just to fly the flag, are they? They're not here today for the Queen, are they?
So it's like a smoke screen for their party, basically.
Well, they're not here today for the King, as I said. They're not here today to celebrate Britain. They're here today for Paul Golding, aren't they?
Alright guys, so as you can see behind me, we've got a massive Britain First banner here that says Remigration. So a lot of these people are talking about illegal migrants, or maybe migrants in general, who knows, but the argument is that all these people should go back to where they come from, as you can see by the sign here. So as you can see, they've got the flares. At the minute, they're singing Keir Starmer's a wanker. We are in the centre of Birmingham, a bit further away from where we were for the binge strikes, where there was, you know, very much a Pakistani area. I think in the city centre here, we're going to have a real mix. So just to the right of me, guys, is Paul Golding. He's the leader of Britain First. You have a man down. What's your thoughts on Keir Starmer? Why are you so against him?
Because he's useless, man. To give the immigrants the rights for aid, for money.
Yeah.
He give them the right. That's why they flooded in. He was a solicitor before he was an MP.
But would you say it's more illegal immigration or just immigrants in general? Because there are, you know, British immigrants who do live here as well.
What do you say?
Is it more against illegal migration or just immigrants in general? Because we got one arrest. What's happening? Who's being taken down? Oh, another guy's being... What's going on here? One lad in there is getting pulled over for some reason. He's resisting, and the police are kind of pulling him away.
Mate, he's gone away.
Oh, 3 officers on him now.
What's this? No peace here. No peace in any of that. Nah, what's this on? Got the right Nah.
Go on, mate.
What's the real let him out? Let's go over here.
Don't touch. Understand?
So yeah, at the minute you can tell it's kind of heating up. You know, a lot of people do not support Britain First. Obviously, it is a kind of nationalist party. Yeah, I think it's simmering, guys. It is simmering. Just the beginning of the protest. It's going to be marching all the way through Birmingham, going through different areas of the city centre. One guy was pulled for, I don't know, coming over to the Britain First lot. Hey, buddy.
We're here protesting, looking after the people. As you've seen, we've already had a couple of people try to attack us. This is a peaceful protest, and you've seen the opposition and how they can be on their balance.
I mean, what do you have to say that Britain First is a racist party, and because of what's happened in the past?
You look at the diversity that's walking behind me right now, and it will prove to you that it is not a racist party in any way, shape, or form.
What did Britain First kind of want in a sense then?
Well, they want our government to stop being weak and stop facilitating for everything that's going wrong in this country.
Alright guys, so we have some Antifa crowds with some signs here, something about kids. And they got about 4 of them, face masks on, police officer pushing them. Can't really say something about fascism, of course. This woman's getting pushed, officers coming for backup. Okay, we've got a...
Get a job! Get a job and go!
A lot of officers are coming in. A lot of officers needed. The argument is that, you know, this time we usually say the police protect the fascists, is what they tend to say. A lot of pushing and shoving going on. Officers telling them to move.
Told you. You've already been warned to move away, okay? You've already been warned. You're on camera. You've already been warned.
So the officer's giving him a warning. I don't think they're going to go away because they want to send a message against the protest. So the police are trying to grab the sign down. What's going on here? All the bystanders thinking, what's going on over here?
Right, folks, we want to move down there. We want to move down there.
The resisting guys. Fighting back against the police.
Police doing an okay job at pushing and shoving them, but not doing the best job, I'd say.
What's the purpose of that?
So if I ask you something and then I stop you, that's all right, is it? That's the thing. Stop. I asked you something several times and then push you.
Okay, there is a tram coming in as well. It's got to be careful here. Oh, pushing it. Is it pushing down the stairs? Bloody hell.
He's got a stick out, man.
Let's have him down the stairs! Move him down the stairs!
Okay, well, I don't want to go down the stairs. A lot of pushing and shoving. Up, down the stairs. Oh, the police are pushing him down the stairs. Quite aggressive, I'd say.
What is any of this?
So yeah, this protest does have a planned route, and that's why, you know, anyone who's blocking it gets moved out of the way.
3 cheers for the police!
Alright guys, so the protest is going to come to this square here where they've got a stage. Who knows what's going to happen later with people coming and going from this square, but this is where it's going to kind of come to right here. And you can see all the flags coming into this part of Birmingham just now. Had a little, a bit of pushing and shoving earlier with the police and the Antifa crowd. Obviously, they call this side fascists, and you know when the police defend them, they say the police protect the fascists, as you've heard.
And I noticed 2 flags which pretty much sum up what they stand for. The communist flag of the Soviet Union and the Palestinian flag of terror. Well, get your flags up in the air and show them what we stand for. Pretend you rose the waves.
So we have some Jews behind me who have turned up. Obviously, a lot of people are against Britain First. in the past have targeted Muslim communities and said all sorts of stuff. But as you see here, they've got a big crowd that has come today. Pushing and shoving. Oi, police are pushing again.
That was fun, wasn't it? How many people say going to Birmingham? That's a bad idea.
Bloody hell. Seems like something's happening here.
Move this group back in the back. Moving back.
Bloody hell. Is this like an Antifa lot? So a lot of pushing and shoving right now. The police are trying to control this area. This guy seems to be quite aggressive. No, it's probably. This old man wants to fight this guy over here for some reason. So you can tell it's really polarising what's going on at the minute. Britain First aren't really liked by a lot of groups, especially these guys over here who have come over.
The police have let us know that Britain First has won today. And these police are working on behalf of Britain First. They're not working on behalf of the human rights of every individual in this country. We have not done anything. It's on your cameras. We have not attacked anyone. When there was an attack, they told our people to fall back. But yet we are the ones being kept in the corner.
So yeah, the argument is that the police at the minute are kind of protecting Britain First and not them for some reason. But I think the thing with protests is that these things are organised, so they get like a designated space, and I guess they're told to just stay in this square over here. A lot of the talk at the minute is that Britain First are racist. I haven't heard anything racist so far. I mean, a lot of the talk has been about, you know, as you can see there, proud to be British.
Did you see how Did you get that? You fucking assaulted me. You assaulted me. You assaulted me.
So I think at the minute this is a counter-protest. They have every right to, but it's getting a bit argy-bargy at the minute. The police tell them to go. What's the reason for counter-protesting? Or just coming here anyway?
What's the reason for them coming to the city? You know, none of them. There's no locals with them.
Yeah,
there's nobody local here. There are just a bunch of travelling racists that travel from city to city and cause trouble. Right? And what we're trying to do is defend the black and Asian community here, as well as white working class people who don't agree with this shit.
Do you think Britain First target migrant communities?
Yeah, well, I think it's obvious that they do. Like, they saw black and brown faces today, and they came straight towards them.
Okay. Right, well, the police have told them to go. Obviously, they don't want too many different groups and crowds coming over to this side, because apparently in the past it has got violent, so that's what's happening here. But you can see just over here all the St George's Flags Union Jacks, and look at the police presence that's needed for today. Well, it's a real operation. Now they've kind of gated it all off so no one can come in. After spending some time at the rally, I started to realise it had been infiltrated by other groups.
Britain is full of British sit-back groups. What Britain needs is a national socialist government. White Vanguard are the only British national socialist activist group. Okay? That's what's going to bring change, the only change.
As you've seen in my other videos, I previously pushed back when people supported communism. But at this rally, there was open support for National Socialism. This is Nazism.
National Socialist. National Socialism is on the rise. It's the only thing that's going to save Britain.
There's an argument that Britain First want, it's kind of a smokescreen for white ethno-nationality.
What's wrong with ethno-nationalism? What's wrong with it? Because we're told the lie today that anyone that obtains a legal piece of paper is British. Being British isn't determined by your religion, your values, your faith. It's determined by your ancestral heritage, your culture, okay, your roots, your blood. What's wrong with ethno-nationalism? Well, the Africans are allowed to do it. The Africans in South Africa are cleansing white people. So they're allowed an ethno-nationalist state. So why are we not? They fear the white man. We want the best for England, for Europe. That's what National Socialism.
But would you say right now that migration is too high, or are you okay with multiculturalism?
Are you okay with high for years?
But are you okay with multiculturalism, or you want like a pure white society?
No, I'm not saying I want 100% of people in Britain to be white. I'm not saying that. Look at the old school blacks. The old school blacks, they integrated into society purely because there wasn't a lot of them, so they had to do it. Now with an influx of immigration, they don't have to, because they live in parallel societies. That's what I'm saying. As long as white people are the majority in their country, I don't give a fuck.
So a lot of the people here, you will hear them talk about that migration is too high. It is kind of having an underlying tone with other things as well, if you kind of read between the lines with some people.
What's she saying? I can't hear you. What? I'm from the United States. Where are you from? Whatever. She wants to be heard. I don't know. She doesn't realize they're going to send everybody back, okay? Remigration. This did not start today.
What's your reason for joining Britain First?
I haven't joined them. I support English people. I support the working Englishman. I'm not communist. I'm not far right. I'm English.
What do you think is happening to the working class man in England right now?
We're being looked down upon. You say one thing, you show one flag, and you're deemed a racist. I'm quarter caste, I'm mixed race, Caribbean. How can I be racist? There's no racism here. There's English, there's white, there's black, there's Asian. There's nothing to do with race. We're just Englishmen.
Some people argue that in general, Britain First wants like an ethno-national country, so pure white country. Do you believe that's true?
They want a Christian country, because that's what England is. England is a Christian country. It always will be.
Scotland, Wales and Ulster are being replaced and betrayed and slaughtered in our own homeland. Our daughters, our sons are murdered, our cities burned under Islamist terror, and we will not stand for it. We will not become a hated minority in our own country, the land that we forged. And what do our so-called leaders do? They cover it up. They silence the truth for their multicultural fantasy. I don't want a multicultural fantasy. It doesn't work. The experiment failed. I want an England for the English.
So the police have done a pretty good job at, keeping the counter-protest and this protest separate. As you can see, how many police was actually needed. Again, more taxpayers' money for this sort of protest, as you can imagine. We saw one arrest, and that was about it, to be honest. That's been the only one so far. So what was the reason for putting on today's event?
Because Birmingham, a few years ago, native British people became minority in this city, and with the numbers are dropping with mass immigration. And, obviously this is an ancient British town. So we just wanted to come here because no other political parties will with this message. A town where we've pretty much lost demographic control. We need to come to these places. We want to go to Luton, Bradford. We want to go to all these different places because they are still British English towns. Nowhere's going to be off limits for Britain First. We're going to go everywhere.
Do you think that is actually true, based on statistics, that we are actually being replaced?
Absolutely. You go to Manchester, Birmingham, for example, you go to London, you go to Luton. We go across the country doing activities, and you can see it for yourself, so we're not being gaslit. We can see it with our own eyes that we are being replaced. For example, we had an American speaker come over, Joey Manorana, and he saw it for himself. He was messaging us saying, what is Birmingham? I've never seen this before. And he's just someone that's came in to visit, and he's shocked and horrified at the state of Britain. But this was done intentionally. The white working class, the white people in general in Britain, we demand a fair living wage. We demand fair living standards. Whereas if these politicians act like great white saviours and act as the land of milk and honey and give and give and give, they're importing new voters to replace us. Wow. So it's intentionally done.
So what do you mean by remigration today? I know that was the main message on the banners and a lot of people were chanting it. What was the meaning behind that?
Well, we've had immigration for 80 years. Now we want remigration, which is the opposite. So we're going to start off, it's a step-by-step process. Start off with illegal immigrants. There's almost 1.5 million illegal immigrants in this country. Foreign criminals, people of immigrant origin who have committed crimes, multiple times, career offenders, anyone who's arrived in the last 15 years, and then anyone who's linked to Islamic extremism, and we'll just keep deporting and supporting until this is a safe country and where we're not running the risk. This is the main thing. we're not running the risk of becoming a minority in our own country.
Those people in Birmingham pay taxes, they contribute. Would you not say there are some good people in that community?
Oh, absolutely, there'll be good people. There's good people in every community, in every race, in every religion. I have no doubts about that. But if you look at statistics, over 70% of Muslim women don't work. They are taking benefits. And who's paying those benefits? The working people. Over 50% of Muslim men don't work or aren't registered as working. Yet there's so many empty barber shops, there's so many empty different corner shops, and there are money laundering schemes. But yes, there is good people, and we appreciate those good people. But because there's a few good people, it doesn't mean we should be replaced in our own lands.
What's your reason for being part of Britain First?
I'm part of the general far right.
Okay.
And Britain First has finally come onto an ethno-nationalist platform. And so, of course, I'm in full support.
Right. Some people argue that ethno-nationalism is racist. Would you agree with this?
Yes, it is. It is. Ethno-nationalism is for your race, your ethnicity.
Right.
It's not a case of just having a passport or a document. It's a case of your blood, your lineage, your heritage.
Ethno-nationalism means that even Europeans wouldn't be allowed to come here, right?
No, it is. This is European land. Our race, European people, are from this land. From the Atlantic coast to the Urals. From the Mediterranean to up to Scandinavia. This is our land. The Sami are not European. They are beyond European. Okay, anybody beyond the Urals is not European. Anybody south, anybody on the other side of the Mediterranean is not European.
So what about
the other side of the Atlantic is not?
Right. So what about those who are, say, not ethnically European? Would you not support them coming here if they respected our values?
No.
Lived here, what? No,
absolutely not. Now, I'm not going to go and attack them. I'm simply going to let them be as they are. Wherever they are in the world, let them be there.
Right.
I am not.
But they cannot come here. But a lot do live in England, though.
Huh?
But a lot do live in England, though.
That's very unfortunate. But now is the time for them to leave. It was a nice experiment, you know. We have learned some things from them. The biggest thing we've learned is not to have them here. That's the very biggest thing that we've had. So now is the time for them to leave. It was an experiment and it has failed.
Well, would you not say there are some positives with migration, like those who actually do help England in general? Not say the masses that we are seeing, but to some extent there is some benefits to having it.
No, I work in healthcare. There is no benefit to these people. I work with them. Also, I look after immigrants. It cancels itself out. They burden more than what they contribute. So no, they cannot be here.
But is your argument that they're all bad? Is that...
They're not all bad. They're all wrong to us. So they're good for themselves. I am good for myself. If I share my culture with them, it hurts them. When they share their culture with me, it hurts me. Enough of the hurt, enough of the pain. Just separate.
I was speaking to some people today and they've talked about ethno-nationalism. Does Britain First agree with that?
Well, we do and we don't. There is such a thing as the native British. But as you can tell, we've got a lot of ethnic minorities here today. They came to a Britain that was, free and prosperous and law-abiding and a decent place to live. And they've seen it just become degenerate into a third world country. They're angry, we're angry. Like I said, we're not going to sit here and say there's no such thing as the native English, the native British, because there is. But again, it's not the defining factor in our ideology. We just want to make sure that we don't become a minority in this country.
So what do you say to those that say that is racist, having that kind of viewpoint and that kind of ideology?
Well, the people who usually say that are on the far left, and they hate this country, they hate our people. They've spent, since the Second World War, they've turned this country into a cesspit, and it's degenerating with every single passing day. So I don't care what the traitors say, I don't care what the career politicians say. We are going to take this country back. We're going to put our own people first. And I don't just mean British people, I mean people who are born here, are being put to the back of the queue in favour of newcomers. The whole situation is upside down and back to front. We just want a reset. We've heard that term recently, the Great Reset. We want a great reset in Britain. We want to get back to traditions, back to being a law-abiding country, back to having politicians that actually are not corrupt careerists. Just common sense.
I don't know if you saw recently, Hope Not Hate, a journalist went undercover at Britain First, and he argued that Britain First is kind of rally people up for donations. Would you agree with that? I mean, what is the kind of purpose behind Britain First?
We don't have trade unions funding us like Labour. We don't have dodgy big businessmen funding us like the Tories or Reform. Reform's got multi-millionaire Muslims they can call on. We are a people's movement. We're a grassroots movement. We have to appeal to donations for our supporters. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to survive. Everything in this world costs money, and the people that want to give do give, and some other people become members, they become activists, they come out on the streets. Everyone's got their own place in this movement, their own role to play. So every single party in this country appeals for donations. It's nothing new.
And what would you say, like, in the future? I mean, going to Luton, Bradford, these kind of places, big demographic of Muslims and Asians, do they have something to fear if you guys go into those places? Or?
No, just like the people, well, you call them ethnic minorities in this town, they're actually the ethnic majorities. We're the ethnic minorities in this town. We've come here. There's been no trouble from us today. We've had a peaceful, patriotic event. We've celebrated our culture. We all sang Jerusalem. We all sang Land of Hope and Glory. And this is what the best of British is all about. So we go to Luton, it'll be the same, Bradford, but nowhere is going to be off limits for Britain First. There's going to be no town or city in this country that is a no-go zone, because this is our country, this is our soil, this is